Hey, how's it going? Renegade Slogan Media here. If you've, subscribed to me recently, with the recent influx of my The Young Turks videos, or you subscribed when my Fall of the Young Turks video exploded comparative to everything else on my channel, don't worry, there will be more content of me talking about the Young Turks. I'm just not obsessed with the Young Turks. Well, I mean, I might be. But since, this is still my channel, I want to engage in some political discourse that doesn't involve the Young Turks right now. Talk about some things I think are interesting. As you may know, as you may or may not know, I am a Libertarian. I am sympathetic to conservatives and right-wingers. I consider myself a Libertarian Republican, much like Rand Paul, Ted Cruz was alright. I like Donald Trump on cultural issues. Donald Trump has some positions that I defend. Not a huge fan of Donald Trump, but damn, I love him. I love the way he just tore through that fucking media. I like the way he trolls liberals. I want, in the future, I want to be able to call myself a liberal again and not have it to have a negative connotation, because Democrats and the regressive, so-called progressive left today are not liberals. They hijacked the term, and oh my gosh, that makes me mad. So this article comes from the Libertarian Republic, and I want to talk about it. The title of it is, according to the White House, "Embittered World War II veterans should get over Pearl Harbor." Now that's a triggering title. So White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest said during a press conference Monday, it was natural for World War II veterans to be embittered about Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's visit to Pearl Harbor, but they should get over it for the sake of America. It was announced Monday that Abe will be the first Japanese leader to visit Pearl Harbor since it was hit by a surprise attack that killed 2,403 Americans and brought the U.S. into World War II. The visit reciprocates President Barack Obama's visit to Hiroshima earlier this year for the anniversary of the atomic bomb attack on the city. Abe said in a short statement he would pray for those who died in the war, but gave no indication he would express regret for Japan's attack. During a White House press briefing Monday, Earnest was asked whether veterans may be offended by Abe's visit if he expressed no regret over the attack. Earnest responded by saying veterans may very well feel embittered, especially if they personally fought in World War II. If I were a World War II veteran who was drafted by the United States military to go and fight for our country overseas in the aftermath of the Pearl Harbor attack, I might feel quite embittered. And I think it would be a perfectly natural and understandable human reaction to not be particularly satisfied with the words of the Japanese Prime Minister, Earnest said. But Earnest followed up by saying those veterans should overcome those feelings for the good of the country. Yes, there may be some who feel personally embittered, he said, but I'm confident that many will set aside their own personal bitterness, not because they're personally satisfied by the words of the Prime Minister, but because they recognize how important this moment is for the United States. Okay, first off, fuck him. I know he's not going out and directly being an asshole, but he is a fucking asshole. Imagine some white supremacist standing up, imagine some alternate World War II era, where, I know I'm pulling some alternate analogies and shit like that, but imagine World War II, Adolf Hitler survives, and for whatever reason, we learn from the Treaty of Versailles, and we realize that more sanctions on Germany is just going to create another Nazi Germany. So imagine that happening, and Adolf Hitler comes, and he visits the U.S. for, some reason, say they do some sort of attack, or they just come. And you have Jews here. You have Ben Shapiro. No. We need somebody who served. Say you had a Jew who served on the American front, or a Holocaust survivor, a descendant of Anne Frank. Say you have that happen. And obviously the Jews and Frank's descendant. Or the guy who wrote the book Night. I don't remember his name at the top of my head. Real good book. Jew. Holocaust survivor. His dad died and he watched his dad die. I don't think he ever saw his mom or his sister again. Really tragic book. It's a short read. Definitely check it out. Night. So imagine the author of that book, Anne Frank, descendant, a Jew, Holocaust survivor, no matter who it is. They feel a little embittered or a little upset that Adolf Hitler survived the war in this alternate world. Adolf Hitler comes and talks to President Barack Obama, or just any Nazi in general, who doesn't publicly disdain Nazi Germany, so he's still a white supremacist, or as, you know, the term is coined now, white nationalists. And then, you know, Jews, obviously, they showed their disdain for it. They contest everything that's happening. And then a White House press secretary comes out and says, listen, I understand that you might feel a little embittered, but you need to stop being bitter and recognize how important this moment is for the United States. No, fuck that bullshit. Come on now. Oh, Jesus. Like, you know, just that really annoys the fuck out of me. You know, it's kind of like, because this White House is the one saying that we should, you know, cater to, you know, Black Lives Matter because they feel oppressed because of slavery and Jim Crow, you know, segregation laws and all that shit. What kind of fucking horse shit is that? And then you're gonna turn around and say that World War II veterans who fought against the Japs or who lost friends against the fucking Japanese. Now, I like Japanese. I like, you know, Japanese are fine in my opinion. But the World War II veterans who had to kill some Japs and saw their friends killed by some Japanese. How much of a piece of shit do you have to be? That is blatant hypocrisy. That is some massive horse shit. Just, oh god, fuck, that pisses me off. You know, maybe, just maybe, you know, in another 50 years, you know, you can say, alright people, we need to get over Pearl Harbor, nobody alive today fought the Japanese, blah 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 blah. But to tell that to World War II veterans, while demanding that we cater to Black Lives Matter, you know, are you fucking serious? We owe white people reparations, or no, we owe black people reparations because they were slaves in the fucking 1800s, and we fought a giant massive war that killed over 600,000 Americans. What kind of fucking horse shit is that? That pisses me off. I'm a little fucking triggered. Dropping F-bombs all over the place. Huh. Tell me how you feel about this. The link to the article will be in the description box below. I don't know. How do you feel about this? This is some horse shit in my opinion. Massive horse shit. This comes from the Libertarian Republic, one of my favorite journalism sites. So yeah, tell me how you feel about this. Do you think I'm overreacting, or do you think it's some massive horse shit? Do you think my analogies fit? Do you think my analogies are accurate? Like I said, just let me know how you feel. Until then, this is Renegade Slogan Media, signing out.